Hello everyone, welcome to AWS Tutorials. In AWS Tutorials, we provide workshops and exercises to learn about AWS services. These workshops and exercises are published to our website aws-dojo.com. Today I'm going to talk about a very small topic and which is how you can configure Amazon EMR cluster to read data through Glue Catalog. So let's get started. And before we get started about how to configure EMR to access data through Glue Catalog, let's first talk about why we need to access data through Glue Catalog. Because as you know that EMR cluster can access data from S3 bucket directly, it can access data from RDS, Redshift, DynamoDB, all these data sources directly, then why it needs to access data using Glue Catalog. And this topic is something I have tried to cover in almost all of my data lake related tutorials because having a Glue Catalog is super important. So suppose you're setting up a data lake in AWS and you have your data spread across multiple data sources, be it S3, RDS, Redshift, DynamoDB. Now, once you register this data as a data lake into your data lake, you need to find some way to discover your data. Like S3 might have 10 buckets, 10 different sets of data. RDS might have 3 databases, each with 15 to 20 tables. Same for Redshift. DynamoDB has got 15 different tables. So your data is there, but it is spread across multiple data sources, and you don't have a unified view about your data. And Glue Data Lake, Glue Catalog provides you that unified view. So it becomes one place where you can see the catalog of all your data tables. So for instance, all the files inside your S3 will be cataloged as a table. All the tables inside your RDS and Redshift, they will be cataloged as table. And similarly, all the tables inside DynamoDB will be cataloged as a table in your Glue Catalog. So this Glue Catalog becomes one place where you can see the full catalog or full listing of all different data sources which are registered into your data lake. And when you have your data cataloged or listed at one place, then it really enhances your searchability or discoverability of the data. You can go to the Glue Catalog and you can see the list of the data available. You can see the type of data available. You can see the schema of the data available. You can see the location of the data from where it is available. All that at one place. So really, Glue Catalog enhances searchability and discoverability about the data. Then on top of that, once you have a centralized Glue Catalog, you can use services like AWS Lake Formation to provide a centralized governance on top of that. Like at one place, you can decide who will have access to what data. So literally, Glue Catalog adds a lot of value in terms of making your data searchable and discoverable, ability to look into a particular data, see the type of the data, schema of the data, location of the data, and finally, a way to centrally govern access to your data using Lake Formation. So again, your EMR cluster can access all these data sources directly, but if you access it via Glue Catalog, if you try to leverage Glue Catalog makes your life easy from data lake point of view, because then it provides your central unified view to explore and find about your data registered to the data lake. Now, how many ways I can create this Glue Catalog? There are roughly 3 ways. I'm not going into detail today, but one way is you can manually register your data. So you can say I'm manually creating a schema and this is the location of my schema, location of my data. You can use AWS Glue Crawler to automate the Glue Catalog creation, and this is most popular way of doing it because Manual, you can do 1 or 2 tables, but if you're talking about data lake where you have got probably hundreds of different data sources, then manually updating the schema is not advisable, and you can use AWS Glue crawler to automatically configure your data cataloging. And finally, in AWS Glue Studio, a new feature has been recently announced where Glue Studio based job, when writing data at the target, can also catalog the data. Yeah, so they can not only write data at a target, but at the same time they can also catalog the data. And I'm going to create a separate video altogether how to use that particular feature with the Glue Studio. But for now, just to summarize how you can create your Glue catalog, you can create it manually, you can create using crawler, or you can create using a job inside Glue Studio. Okay, having understood how you can catalog the data, let's talk about that when you're changing. Suppose you're trying to access your data from S3 directly, and now you're trying to access data through Glue Catalog. What does primarily changes at your code level, at your coding level? Yeah, when you configure a step. So let's try to see the difference first. So for instance, when you're trying to access data from S3 directly, first you import your PySpark SQL libraries, then you start a Spark session. And then you simply use this spark.read method to read data from the S3 bucket, and you can also ask to info the data. That means it will generate the schema of the data, and then that data gets populated to a data frame, and then you can perform all possible transformations on this data frame to convert this data into something else you want, right? So that's how your data access work in EMR step if you're trying to access data directly from S3 bucket. Now, if you change it to Glue catalog based access, how does it change? So first 2 steps are the same. You have to import SQL libraries and you start a Spark session. And after that, your code changes in this way. So for instance, now that your data is cataloged, so you have got a table like customers over here. This is the catalog table, customers, which is cataloged into a Glue database called DojoDB. So what you do is that first you set up your catalog to some current database, like in this case DojoDB, and then you simply use a Spark SQL query to fetch the data from the table, from the Glue catalog table, and populate into a data frame. And then you can again perform all kind of possible transformation on this data frame and write to some target location. So as you can see that when you try to access data from Glue catalog, your coding effort is almost the same as accessing it directly from the S3. Yeah, if it's not simple, it's not complex either. I feel like it's the same kind of effort, whether you are trying to access data from S3 versus trying to access data from Glue catalog. So again, I will say that I will highly encourage that you should be try to access data through Glue catalog, because then your coding effort is not changing, but you get additional benefit of having your data cataloged at one place in your lake, in your data lake. Okay, so having understood the coding level effort, let's try to understand how do I configure my EMR cluster to access data from Glue catalog. So do so, actually it's pretty straightforward. So when you're trying to configure your EMR, first of all, this feature is available only when your EMR version is 5.8.0 or later. So you can access Glue catalog through EMR cluster only for the version 5.8.0 and onwards. Then what you do that you have to go to this Glue catalog settings, and for instance you have to select, okay, I'm going to use my Spark tables, because suppose you want to use PySpark with a Glue catalog. So say I want to use my Spark table as metadata, and then here you have to mention in your software setting you have to mention that what is going to be your catalog, what class you're going to use to read your meta store. Okay, so like in this case, saying that this is my meta store class, and then this meta store class actually in this case is AWS Glue Catalog Hive Client Factory. So basically, this is a Java library which is responsible for interfacing your EMR to Glue Catalog communication, and this Java library will take care of having, I think it's Java. Well, I'm not very sure on that part, but I think it's Java. But this is responsible for actually making communication with the Glue Catalog in the backend. Okay, so I'm not sure about the language part, guys, but yeah, this library is responsible for talking to the Glue Catalog in the backend. So basically, it's very straightforward. First, you have to set up, like in this case, I'm setting up using a Spark table with the Glue Catalog, and then you can also use Hive configuration. Especially, you can do a Hive table configuration in Athena. So if you're using a Hive table configuration or cataloging in Athena, you can use Hive table as well. But if you're trying to use crawler to catalog your data into Glue Catalog, in that case you can use Spark table. Okay, so you have to choose one of those two options. So the primary difference is the Spark table is when you're trying to use the crawler to create your catalog, and then Hive is when you're using Athena to create a Hive table using Athena data sources method. Okay, but today I want to stick with the Glue Catalog, where the data gets populated or cataloged using crawler, and in that case you can use this Spark table method, and you have to also configure the factory class for Metastore, and like which library is responsible to talk to the Glue Catalog to fetch the data. Okay, so this is how to make it look very clear. This is how the configuration look like, and this is the configuration you do if your Glue Catalog is in the same account where your EMR cluster is. So if your EMR cluster and a Glue Catalog both are in the same account, you go for this type of configuration. But if they are in different accounts, then you can also set up a cross-account configuration. Only thing in that case, you have to also provide the account ID of the account where your Glue Catalog is in place. So in this case, your Glue Catalog is in this account, and then from a different account, you're trying to access this Glue Catalog. And in that case, since you're going for cross-account configuration, you have to also provide your catalog ID, which is equal to your account ID where your Glue Catalog is set up. Okay, so this is how you configure your factory class. Now, how does Glue Catalog provides access to EMR cluster? Because if you're using a lake formation, and I mentioned earlier as well that once you have configured your Glue Catalog, you can use AWS Lake Formation to set up permission for the tables. So like in this case, you can see here, I've just taken a snippet from one of the AWS article. These are different tables, and then these tables are given permission to different principals, whether these principals could be users, group, roles, or even account in case of cross-account access. And these are the permissions provided in terms of someone can select or insert, or someone is super user. Now, this kind of permission you provide into AWS Lake Formation. So when I'm trying to access data from EMR cluster, what permission I need to set up. So in this case, you will be using this EC2 instance profile. So your EC2 instance profile is an IAM role under which your EC2 instances under the EMR cluster run. And this role should have permission to the tables over here. So suppose, just as an example, that you have some table, like in this case, in this case the table was click throughs table. In that table, if you want to provide the select permission, then it should be like there should be entry here saying that, okay, fine, this EMR EC2 default role should be mentioned here. Then this is an IAM role principal. Your resource type could be column or table depending on what level of permission you're giving, and then you simply provide select or insert permission. If you're trying to read data, of course, select permission. Yeah, but important thing is that in your lake formation, this EMR EC2 default role should have permission to the table, at least select permission to the table if you want to read data from that table in the EMR cluster. Okay, so you need to take care of this part from the Glue catalog access point of view. So what are we building today? So what we're building today is that we are going to put a file into S3 bucket, which will simply use Glue catalog to catalog it. And then we are going to launch an EMR cluster, which will be configured to have ability to read from Glue catalog. And then we'll try out some sample code in Jupyter Notebook to access data from Glue catalog. In order to build this scenario, we have created a workshop, and this workshop is published to our website, aws-dojo.com. I'm going to now jump to the workshop and show you the steps involved in doing this hands-on lab, and post that you can run this lab by your own to get experience of accessing data through Glue catalog in EMR clusters. So let's jump to the exercise or the lab. So you can see here, this is the lab which is published to our website, aws-dojo.com. Click on this link over here to start the workshop. It shows you the number of steps involved to actually complete the exercise, and in this case, of course, you will first put data into S3 bucket, then you will catalog the data, then you will launch an EMR cluster with configuration to access Glue catalog, and then finally you will write coding inside a Jupyter Notebook to access data using the Glue catalog. So let's get started. The first step is pretty straightforward. The first step is to actually have an AWS account, and if you don't have any AWS account, you might want to use this link to create one account. And then we create an IAM role, and this IAM role is actually used by AWS Glue crawler to actually catalog the S3 based data. So you go to the IAM management console, you say I want to create a role for the Glue, then just to keep it simple, I'm providing this power user access, and then we provide this a role, a nice name called Dojo Glue role. Once the role is created, then we create the S3 bucket. So we click on the S3 bucket, click on the link to create S3 bucket. So here you can see that we create, say for instance, in this case, we are creating a Dojo Lake as an S3 bucket. And in that S3 bucket, we created a folder called customers, another folder called output. And then in the customers folder, we uploaded a customers.csv file. And here is the link from where you can download the customers.csv file. So your customers.csv file goes into the customers folder, and the customer folder is going to work as a source folder, which we will catalog and then use inside EMR cluster. And output folder is going to be the location where EMR cluster will write the output. So moving on, then we configure the Glue database, which is pretty straightforward. In this case, what we do is that we go to the Glue management console, we say we want to create a database, and then we simply create the database, and in this case, we give a database a name. And then we are creating a Glue crawler. So in case of, and we are using Glue crawler to catalog the data. So we go to Glue management console, we click on the crawlers and say we want to add a new crawler. We give this crawler a nice name, and then we say, well, this crawler is going to read data from this Dojo Lake customers folder. And then It's asked for what IAM rule should the crawler use to run, and we provide the same IAM role which you created earlier in the earlier steps. And then you simply you set the frequency, which is in this case is run on demand, because we are doing simply a lab over here. Otherwise you would like to schedule it to some frequency. Then you provide the database name, which is like Dojo database in this case. And then finally we save the crawler and we run the crawler. And when we run the crawler, you can see here that the data has you can see one table has been cataloged. And if you go to your Glue catalog, you can see the schema of the data in the S3 bucket. So my catalog is ready now. Now it is time to launch an EMR cluster. So click on the launch EMR cluster. And then in this case, we are starting an EMR cluster. So we go to the EMR management console. We say we want to create a cluster, and then we say let's go to advanced options. In advanced options, we select, other than default selection, we also add Spark and Jupyter Enterprise Gateway. I'm using Spark here because we are going to use PySpark as a way to write the transformation or coding, and Jupyter Enterprise Gateway because I want to use Jupyter Notebook to write the code. Then we go to this Glue data catalog setting where we select this Spark table, and we use the Spark table here because the data is cataloged through the crawler. If have you using a Hive-based table using Athena data sources, then you would have gone for the first choice. But in this case, we are using the Spark table. And then we simply set up the factory class for the meta store, as I have mentioned earlier in the presentation. Rest of things we keep very much default. We provide, we select our uniform instance group, and then we set up a network and a subnet, which is default in this case. We give this cluster a nice name. And finally, we create the cluster. And in a moment of time, the cluster will be created, and you wait till your cluster is in the ready state. Now we are going to launch a Jupyter Notebook. So we launch a Jupyter Notebook, and in this case, we are launching a Jupyter Notebook because I want to show you in an interactive way how you can write code and fetch data from S3 using Glue catalog. So in EMR Management Console, we click on the notebooks. I say I want to launch a new notebook. And then in this case, it says, okay, which cluster this notebook is associated with. You provide that name, use the default service role. And then finally, you create a notebook. And in hardly any time, your notebook will be created and it will be in the ready state. So now your notebook is ready. It is time to now start writing the code. So let's go to the next step, which is about writing the code in the notebook using Glue catalog. So we simply open the notebook details and say we want to open in Jupyter. And then it says we create a new notebook environment. In this case, we are selecting PySpark as a notebook environment because we know that in our EMR cluster, we have deployed Spark, and we want to use PySpark-based code to access data from S3 using Glue catalog. So our PySpark-based environments get launched. Now we start writing the code, and as I mentioned in my presentation, it's pretty straightforward. First, we import the PySpark SQL library. After that, we start a Spark session. And finally, we simply write a code. So like in this case, I'm saying set my database to DojoDB. And remember, guys, we created a DojoDB as one of the database, in the Glue catalog. Then I'm reading data from this customers table, and you can, if you remember, the customers was the table which was cataloged using the crawler, and then simply I'm showing my data frame data, which in this case shows the data from the S3 bucket but accessed via Glue catalog. Now I'm performing a simple transformation, like I'm filtering, I'm doing a column level filtering only on the customer name and email, and finally I can write data back to the S3 bucket directly. Yeah, so those things don't change. You can write data to S3 bucket directly, but what was important here is that you can read data from the Glue catalog using the catalog tables in place of talking to S3 bucket directly. And you can see in the output that your bucket, your data has been created in the output location. And since we selected JSON as the format, my CSV data has now been formatted into JSON format with just 2 columns, customer name and email. And you can very much open these files, and you can see the output. And then after this, to be honest, the next step is to clean up the resources so that you don't incur any cost post this workshop. So that was all for today's tutorial, guys. The purpose was to tell you why data catalog is very important and how you can use EMR cluster to talk to data through data catalog. There are many other similar types of workshop and exercises which are published to our website aws-dojo.com. Please do visit our website and go through these exercises and workshops, hands-on lab to learn about AWS services. We always look forward to your feedback, whether the feedback is for a new topic or any mistake I have made in my tutorials, or anything I should improve or change, or you have any follow-up question on any of my topic which I have talked about in my tutorial. Feel free to reach out to me either through YouTube comment section, or you can also click on the Contact Us tab over here and can reach out through that tab through the email ID provided over there as well. So we always look forward to your feedback to make things better and improved. I promise to come back again in a couple of days' time with another such tutorials and video. In the meantime, stay safe and have a nice day. Bye-bye.